So in this session, we will be covering the content which we are going to deliver in this training and the introduction to CRM technical, and also maybe a session on adding a field through AET. So coming to what is CRM technical and how is it different from ABAP? So the general question everyone poses when we talk about CRM technical is how is it different from ABAP? And I would say that it is not different from ABAP, rather it is only ABAP which we are talking about here. But the ABAP which we use in CRM technical is 90% object-oriented ABAP. So you should be really good at O concepts and object-oriented ABAP coding to be able to understand CRM technical. So other than O ABAP, what is it that which is different from other products, or how is CRM different from other products when compared with other products with the business suite? So the major factor which CRM has is its framework. So the major difference between the other products and CRM is the framework which is used in CRM. It's known as Web Client UI framework. So this framework is the major difference of how CRM product is built from the other products. I would say that it is a very well modeled and well built framework, and it has been enhanced a lot compared to the lower versions. Now with 7.0 EHP2, it has a lot of enhanced features within the framework. So other than this, we also have a bit of BSPs, which is slightly reducing in terms of the coding when compared to 5.0. So right now in 7.0, we don't have much of BSP coding involved. So which is a very good thing for ABAPers, because BSP is again a kind of mixture of HTML into ABAP. So that's one of the good thing about the framework enhancements which are done in 7.0. So now coming back to our question on how is it different. So the framework which we are talking about is the Web Client UI framework, and the framework is very well structured and it has different layers which we do not see in other products. And when we talked about the UI strategy of SAP, we would see that the UI Web Client UI framework is placed at a very good position right now. When they came up with this framework in 5.0, that was when they built the IC Web Client framework. So there was this interaction center application, which is also known as IC in shortcut. Interaction center is also known as call center in sometimes. So the framework which is built for building this application, at that time it was only the interaction center application which was built on this framework, and it is known as IC Web Client. Slowly, uh, SAP has felt that this user interface has been accepted by customers very well, and they have started investing into the framework and started enhancing it and made it a framework which is used across the applications in CRM. So with 7.0, SAP has stopped supporting the GUI, which is the normal SAP GUI which we use for doing transactions in 4.0 and 5.0. So the support to the graphical user interface is stopped, and now as per SAP, the GUI is supposed to be used only by developers and super users. Other than that, for the business users, it's only the web UI which is used by them. So that will be the user interface which is used by all the end users or the business users in the production system. So when we talk about the framework, so how is it different, and why is it different? So when they started this interaction center application, it was a very small framework which was built only for that application. But right now they have made it a framework which is used across the CRM product, and with EHP 3 or 4 in ECC, the framework is available. So now the framework is made a common framework which is available across the platform in the business, and it has been moved from CRM to the cross application components. So which means the importance given for this framework is increasing day by day, and the acceptance by the customers is also increasing day by day, as the framework has a lot of flexibility, which might not be possible with other frameworks compared to this, like WebDen Pro, which is a parallel technology or parallel UI technology which is used in other products of the business. So if you see the SAP product roadmap strategy, which is released in this January 2012, so you could see that it is having a very good place for web client UI framework. So here, if you see the user interfaces which are used in the SAP Business Suite, we have WebDen Pro used for the other products, as I told you, and the web client UIF used for the CRM product. And soon, this platform which we are talking about is also available in the Business Suite as a cross application component. And the advantage of the web client UI framework compared to the other frameworks is the flexibility it has. When we talked about the framework, we have majorly three layers, which is the bold, the general, and the presentation layer. We will talk about that more in the later session. So now coming to the major differences when we compare this technology or uh, the UI technology which we use here when compared to the the WebDen Pros. The advantages we have is the flexibility which we have in terms of building the pages. When we talk about the WebDen Pro page, we cannot uh, build the UI as flexible as BSPs. So the underlying technology which we use in CRM is BSP based, and we have a very well built architecture in terms of the L shape and the navigation bar and the work area. So we will see what is that we are talking about right now in the system. So this is how a standard screen looks like. So when we look at the screen, the L shape which we see at the top on the left hand side is a static screen wherein the links does not change, and the area which you see on the right bottom is the work area. So the L shape is again divided into header area on the top and the navigation bar on the left, and the navigation bar can be hidden by using this button to get more area. And the, the navigation is very easy in CRM because the L shape static framework is always there. So you need to just click on the work center which you need to navigate to just go there, and you are never lost because always your work centers are available for you on the left hand side to navigate from anywhere to any other place in the application. So that's one of the good features we have. And here we have few links which you see here below, which are kind of quick links, we call them, and they are used majorly for the business process where we need a quick action, or for example, you need to create a quick appointment here. You just need to click on this appointment and you will be able to create it. So these features are generally used for the features where we need a quick action on them. And the work centers you see here are having their own links inside. And when you navigate into them, they open up pages. For example, here we see the account search page where we will be able to search for the business partners in the system. and you search for a particular business partner, and you click on a particular business partner, and you'll be taken to that the overview of that business partner. So this is a part of functionality which is known as search and result screens, and also an overview page which will open up when you click on the business partner. So this is a kind of uh, functionality which is provided for account search. So when we talk about these functionality, the functionality which we see here is basically built on a BSP application, and that's why it is basically BSP based. But the coding which we do is OABAP along with a mixture of BSP coding for the HTML pages. But this coding in 7.0 is minimal because we have a configuration tool through which we can configure the fields which we need to display. So that is one of the enhancement done to the framework with 7.0, and it's a good feature because we don't need to code in BSPs right now. So coming back to the framework discussion which we were doing, so here is the framework diagram which we are seeing. So the first one which you see here, it can be considered as your browser for the end user, and you have your presentation layer which is based on BSPs. Then we have a bold layer which is known as business object layer, and we have a general layer which is generic interaction layer which interacts with the API layer which is application programming layer, which in turn interacts with the DB or the database. So this is a kind of layered architecture. We also have a design layer which sits in between the presentation layer and the business layer, which is not shown here. So these are the different layers available in CRM. And when we talk about the WebUI framework, this is what we need to understand when it compared to the other products. So when we understand the framework properly, that's more than enough to do coding in CRM. And understanding of framework is really important because the complete application which is built is completely based on this framework. So previously, when we had IC Web Client, it was only the IC Web Client application in this framework. But now with 7.0, the whole CRM application is converted into this framework and very widely used in CRM. So here, when we talk about the framework, the main important layers are the bold and genil, which is like the heart of the framework. When we talk the framework, when we see the component workbench, you will see that it is kind of similar to the WebDriver framework, but when it comes to the underlying layers, the bold and genil, such kind of layers are not available in any other product. So this is the major difference when compared to the other products. And the presentation layer is completely componentized, which means they are divided into components. So the functionality is divided into different components in terms of uh, the accessibility and the functionality, and it's kind of reuse concept which we use here. So all the components which are built in the presentation layer are reused in other components as well. So that's the kind of framework which is completely based on BSPs. So each component which we build is a BSP component technically, and they are reusable in other components. So that way, we avoid a lot of redundancy in the coding, which means you can develop a component once and use it anywhere else. That's the kind of flexibility which is given by the framework. So coming to what each layer does, the presentation layer will build us the HTML pages which we are seeing in the browser for the end user's machine. Then coming to the bold layer acts as a buffer for the storage at the runtime, and your general layer will interact with the DB generically. So we will see the technical details or more detailed information in the training on each layer, including the design layer. So we will stop discussing about the framework here, and we will carry on with the other discussion. So coming back to the account screen which we were seeing, so here you see that we have opened the AdCom computer account, and we see the different fields available here. So for seeing these fields, we need to have a configuration which is defined, and that configuration you will be able to see by clicking on this button which you see on the left hand side. So once you click on this button, it will show us the areas highlighted with these boxes. So when you click on a particular box, it will open up the configuration which is there for this view. And in this view, you will configure which fields you want to see and what is the uh, place where you want to see them. So this kind of configuration is possible for all the types of views, and we would see more details in the training. So here, if you see, the different configurations are available, and at, at a time only one configuration is picked at the runtime, depending upon the four parameters which we see here. So the configuration which is picked right now is the configuration which we are seeing. The configuration with the role config key as ZZ Service Pro and the component is as BP head. So here you see the fields which are shown in the configuration. So whatever fields are shown in this configuration are appearing in the config or the screen which we are seeing. So for example, if I want to modify this, you just need to click on uh, show available fields and add the fields from here which are available, or if you want to remove a particular field, you can just need to click on this particular field and click on this minus button which will remove this field from the configuration, and just save and close it. It would be asking for a customizing request as this is the customizing change, so we will choose it. And once the pop-up is closed, you need to click this button again to come to the normal mode. So here you are right now not seeing the golden account checkbox which we have seen before. So that's the way we configure the page. So this is about configuring the page where the fields are available and we either need to add them or remove them from the configuration. As simple as that. And in this training, which we are going to have, we are going to cover the complete configuration work we do in the web UI and also the technical part. So if we need to go through the course content, here is the course content which we are looking at. So this will cover the introduction to CRM, then the basic understanding of UI technologies in SAP, what is the difference between BSP and WebDin Pro, then the different areas which we are having on the screen, the navigation bar, header area, work area, and one of the important concepts in CRM which is role concept. So we have something called business role which is introduced with 7.0, which is very important to understand CRM. Then further coming to what we do is enhancing and customizing the navigation bar. Navigation bar is the left side area where we see the different links which are shown up there. So we would see how we would enhance or customize this navigation bar with different links, adding links or removing links. And we also see a concept called transaction launcher where we can launch transactions from WebUI directly, the Z transactions which we create in GUI. Then after the navigation bar is covered, we would cover the work area. So how to customize the work area. So here the customization will majorly cover how do we tweak the UI without doing any coding. So this is the customization which you do in the work area, and then enhancing the work area is covering the addition of fields or tables to the existing fields which we have, and this would cover the tool called AET or Application Enhancement Tool in detail. And then coming to the framework, we start with the basics of framework, then the BSP programming model, then the tag libraries, then touch the Bold model browser, runtime repository, and the component structure browser. Then we talk about the componentization concept and the MVC concept. then talk about the different elements which are there in a particular component, then how to build views, windows, navigation flags, inbound, outbound flags, then the repository.xml, which is an important thing. Then we also will cover the different types of views, different types of controllers, different types of pages which we have in CRM, and also coming to the practical work we do. Most of the time, we end up enhancing the standard components and modifying them. So that's the major work we do in terms of practical. So we would cover the enhancing of the existing UI components and how to modify them. Then we would cover the core Genil layer, which is kind of unknown concept for most of the CRM technical consultants as well. So we are going to cover the Genil object model, then the types of Genil objects, then the sample Genil model which is given by SAP, then what are the interfaces classes which we use to build the Genil component and all that. Then we would cover the bowl layer, which is the major work we do in CRM. 80% of the coding which we do in the practical work will be the bowl programming. So we would cover the basics of bowl programming and advanced concepts in bowl programming. So how to work with entities and what is bool core, what is the transaction context, how to lock or access or create entities, deleting entities. All this is covered as a part of the business object. Then we also have some tips and tricks from the practical scenarios and how to debug in the CRM web UI scenarios. Then how to use AET tool with uh, uh, with expert mode enabled, then how to enhance without AET, and how to look at different wizards which are there in the higher versions, like how to use them and what functionality they provide to us, and how to find out a particular message source where it is coming from, and also behavioral extensibility using baddies. This is a common concept. I mean, baddies is a common concept when compared with other products. So, and also a bit of understanding on what are the different forums available in SCN and how you can get help from these forums. So this is what we are going to cover as a part of this course. Now, I thought we would have a session on how to add a field through AET. So we would cover that particular session right now. Just adding a field through AET. So right now we are seeing the account screen which we have seen before. So for example, here I want to add a particular attribute, which is like maybe the favorite color of this particular customer. So what I would do is I would open up the AET tool and add this field. So to open up the AET tool, you need to click on again the configure show configurable areas. Then you would open up the configuration tool, and from there you would be able to open up the AET tool. So this is the configuration tool which we are seeing here. So here we have all the configurations available. Remember that the configurations which we do are picked at runtime. So one of the configuration will be picked, and the field which you are adding is not added to any configuration as such. It is added to all the layers in the CRM. So it is available for you in the available fields in the configuration, but for you to be able to see the field after adding it, that should be again pulled into your configuration which you are showing at the runtime. So the field which we are adding here is not specific to any configuration. So now, right now, to open up the AET tool, you can either click create field or display enhancements. Create field will open up the screen where you can create the field or add the field to the existing fields, and display enhancements will show you the fields which are already added using AET. So I will click on display enhancements first. So it is asking me to select an object for which I need to display the enhancements. So since we are talking about account here, I am selecting the account object. So here are the enhancements which are already done using AET. You might see few fields are having the enhancement ID as Z, EXT, so on, and few fields are mentioned as manual fields. So the manual fields which are mentioned here are added through EWB, which is the prior version of AET2. So that was the tool which we used to use in 5.0, and from 7.0 we are using AET. So in EHP2 we also have an option to migrate these manual fields to AET fields. So that is also provided by the framework. So right now you can see that you have a new button here, which is equivalent to your create field in the previous screen. So you can click on this new button, and it will open up a pop-up which gives the part of a BU. So here we are adding the particular field to BUT000, which is a part of the account details, the central details. So click OK, and it opens up a screen where you can give the different attributes of this field. And here if you see, the field ID is grayed out. So the field ID is generated by the system, and the field label is the label which we want to give it for the field which we are going to add. So we say the favorite color, and here the search relevance is going to tell us whether this is available in the search of accounts and result of the accounts. And here it is grayed out because since it is a central detail, it has to be available in the search and result screen, so it is grayed out. Sometimes you might get an option for this particular drop down to be selected. So it has not relevant for search and result screen, relevant for search, relevant for result, and relevant for both. These are the options available in that. And you need to select a field type. So field type can be in this case we will select it as maybe uppercase text, and we would decide the length as, we don't want the users to give any color they wish, so we would provide them a drop down. So we would say that this is an uppercase text with length 1, and in the drop down list box we would give the different options which they can select from the drop down. And here you also see a calculated or read only checkbox, which is a checkbox which is used in case the field is a calculated field or a read only field, which means you will not be able to edit it on the screen. So this is generally used in the case where you show the status based on some values. Like for example, you have a due date, and if the current order date is near to due date, you want to show it as amber, and if it is past, you should need to show it as red, and if it is far away, you need to show it as green. So in such cases, the value which you show here is not going to be stored in the DB, but it is just calculated at the runtime and shown here. So in such cases, we use this calculated read-only field. Then we also have a check table and search help. So check table is used where you have a check table from which your values need to be validated before you input the value. And search help is used in the scenario where you want a search help to be provided for this field to enter the value. And you also see the checkboxes mobile, R3 adapter, and BW adapter. This is used in the middleware scenario where the adapters corresponding to the mobile and R3 and BW are enhanced. So here you see that the R3 adapter is already checked and grayed out, which means that this field which we are going to add has to be available for the R3 adapter, and the rest is your choice. Then you also see that CRM interactive reporting, which is introduced in EHP1. This is a kind of reporting framework where you will be able to create your own reports in WebUI itself. So in this case, it is not used because this is not provided as a field in the CRM interactive reports. Then coming to the object part, you see that this is the part where we are going to add, and you also see the enhancement place, which is the include or append structure, which you see, which is the place where this field is going to go and sit. And you see a small checkbox generated or generate, which is checked. Unless you check this, when you click back button here, you will be taken to a screen where all the fields are shown. So unless you check this, it will not be generated when you save it. So when you click this save and generate button here on the top, this checkbox has to be checked so that the field gets generated. Now we are going to give the values. So say we have selected a few values like R for red, then insert, G for green, B for black, then S for silver. So these are the color codings which we are taking, and as we have given the drop down list box and the label here, we also have a facility to translate these labels and the drop down boxes which we have given there. So the values which we have given here will be available for translation. So if you minimize this label field, you also have the drop down list values. For example, you expand this R, so it will be available for translation in other languages. So this way we can also translate every drop down value and also the field label which we are giving here. And the field ID is generated here. So when you click back, it will take you to the screen where you see that this generate checkbox is checked and it is still in the amber color because it is not yet generated. So when you click save and generate here, it generates this field and it is available for us in the configuration. And this enable expert mode, when you do this, the field ID which got generated just now will be available for us to input. Instead of generating a field ID which is not understood by us, it would be good to have this enable expert mode on for us to select or choose the field label which will be the field name in your table which is going to get generated. So that's it. So we will click save and generate and wait for some time. So when we click save and generate, here the request which it is going to be asking is a workbench request because it is going to enhance all the layers. So it is going to touch all the structures which are responsible and also the coding part if required for this particular field. So you need to choose the workbench request, then wait for a few seconds. So once the field is added, it gives you this information, details, session restart automatically, close the current window. So once this window is closed, it would start restarting the web UI. So once it is restarted, you can again go back to the accounts and products, account search page, search for the Adcom computers and open it. As I told you, the field which we added is not configuration specific, so it would be available for all the configurations. So as I told you, it is also not available directly as we need to go to the configuration and pull it to the fields which are shown on the screen. So we would see that. So we will click on the configuration, show configurable areas and open up the configuration tool. So once the tool is open, go to the configuration which we are modifying and click on show available fields. So here in the header level, we will have our field which we added. So the field which we added is favorite color. So generally these fields will be available at the end here. So I will click on forward and go to the end. So here we would find the favorite color. So you just need to click on this particular attribute and click on the plus symbol. And generally it is added at the ending. If you need to move it, you can move it on the top by just clicking and dragging and dropping. So so there should be a position which is open for that, and sometimes you will not be able to drag and drop. You need to drag the other one down and create that position. Then you can drag it up and arrange the other things. So once this is done, you can click on save and close. Here again, it would ask for a customizing request as we are changing the configuration. And you see that the favorite color is appearing here. Then click on this hide configurable areas. Now you will be able to do the selection for the favorite color, whatever you want. For example, green. So save it. So these values are coming from the drop-down values which we have given while creating the field. So once the account is saved, we will go back to the search screen and add this criteria to the search criteria, and we should be able to do a search based on this particular favorite color as green, and we should be able to get this account in the result screen. So we'll click back now, where we will go to the account search screen. So here we are seeing the search criteria in the search area. So here you also have the show configurable areas. Click on this and click on the search area. Here you have again multiple configurations. So to find the configuration, go to the second page. The highlighted configuration is the configuration which we need to modify. And here we need to add the favorite color. So check for the favorite color in the fields available on the left hand side. So here is the field which we need to add. So move it to the right hand side, and generally it will be added on the top. So just let it be there and click save and close. And here again it will ask for a configuration request. Choose it. So now it is available in the favorite color, in the search criteria here. So we'll do this. So here we have the drop down again, the same values which we have given there. So we can click green as we have saved the account with green as the color or the favorite color. So now you click on search and you'll be able to see that we got the result as adcom computer, which is the account which is having the green as color. And similarly, now if you want to display this favorite color in the result list, you need to again click on the configuration and click on result screen. Then check the configuration which is open. So the highlighted one is open. So here you need to add the favorite color by pulling it from the left hand side where the available fields are available. So here you need to click on this arrow again, then remove the other one if you don't need it. And if you also want to change the spelling or the label here, you can save it. It will ask for a customizing request. So once the pop-up closes, you see that the last column here has changed to favorite colors automatically. And this is the column which we have added. So here you see the value as green. And if you, for example, come out of this configuration mode and remove this criteria and search normally, it would show the blank values for the other fields, whereas it would show green for this adcom computer. So this is all about adding a particular field to a overview screen and search screen and also the result screen through AIT tool. So this is a very short demo, and we also have other details like where to see this extension which is added and how do we configure the AET tool to work in the initial system. So these things, and other than this, we also have the table extension, which is when we use it, we use which stores multiple records in relation with the current uh, order or current account. So if you want to store multiple records, right now we are storing only one favorite color, whereas if you want to store multiple colors, then you need to go for a table extension, which you would see in the training. And as I told you before, this training is going to cover both the configuration part and the coding part for the WebUI framework, and majorly covering the layers within the framework, which are Genil and Bold, and also touching the API layers as well. So this is what we are going to cover in as a part of this training, and this would take around 25 to 30 hours probably. So this is about this training course. Thank you very much for your listening, and also if you are listening to this, then I think you would be the right people for this training. Thank you.